Hey guys, I'm YOLO Jack. Welcome to my channel. Hurry up, I'm about to catch the subway, otherwise I might miss my flight. We can chat later in detail. Boom, now I'm posted up at Guangzhou Airport. Alright, now I'll tell you why I made this video. Because I've always believed in the philosophy of YOLO, you only live once. So, I quit my job and embarked on this adventure. For the next 6 months, I'm throwing myself into the challenge of hitting up some of China's major cities. This adventure is gonna be my longest stint on the road. Alright, on the shuttle now. That plane I spotted outside? Looks like it's that one. I was so excited for this flight. By the way, I almost forgot to mention, I'm also taking on a challenge. I'm not going to shave until the very last day of my trip. After walking through a long loading bridge, you'll see 2 airport staff wearing yellow vests. Then we reach the plane. The chief attendant will greet you with a "Nei hao" at the door. If you take a short-haul flights, each passenger will be given a bottle of water here. Wait, the flight attendant is helping passengers open the luggage compartments. Pedestrians are blocking our path in front. Pushing my way through the jammed crowd. In China, we call older women Dharma. Despite their loudness, they're actually nice people. Pushing through the crowd, I finally nailed down my seat. Thinking about the next 6 months of wandering, diving into different corners of China, I'm pumped. Did you catch that shot of my legs? I intentionally showed them because they were shaking from excitement. No clue if planes around the world roll like this, but even though I boarded kinda late, we're still sitting around for a good 10 to 30 minutes before takeoff. Finally, after the wait, we're up in the air. Sun's rising in the distance. Oh, by the way, check out the view below. That's the scene around Guangzhou Airport, a bird's eye view of the suburbs. My dear Guangzhou, see you in 6 months. To trim the budget, I always choose to eat the airline meal. They usually provide 2 paper boxes, one containing the main course and the other containing the side dishes. Main dish is typically stir-fried noodles or rice, and on the side, it's either yogurt with bread or biscuits. Today's grab? Stir-fried noodles, also you can call it chow mein, a yogurt cup, and a small piece of bread. Some folks diss airplane food, but it's all good for me. Sorted out a meal, saved some time, win-win. Today's chow mein is pretty average, but it satisfies my hunger. Do you like chow mein? Or, how is the airplane food in your country? Please share with me. Finally, after a 3-hour flight, I touched down at my first stop, Lanzhou. Lanzhou, a city nestled along the banks of the Yellow River, is not only a crucial hub on the ancient Silk Road, but also the birthplace of ramen, a culinary delicacy with a rich history and unique flavor. You might ask me why I chose Lanzhou as my first leg of the adventure journey. I'll leave you all in suspense for now, and we'll delve into the details in my next video. The next small city I want to visit doesn't have direct flights from most domestic cities, so I have to choose to transit in Lanzhou. No doubt, before arriving in Lanzhou, my impression was that it's the capital of Gansu province, a place in the northwest covered in yellow sand, and not as developed as cities in the east. Besides, I don't know much about this city. To get a feel for this city, my first stop after exiting the subway station is the Gansu Provincial Museum. The entry process for Chinese museums is pretty standard. First, you need to have an app WeChat on your phone. Usually, there's a QR code placed at the entrance. You should use WeChat to scan the QR code, fill out some basic information on a mobile web page, and voila, you get an electronic ticket. And yeah, they usually offer free baggage storage services here. With the e-ticket in hand, I join the queue. Today doesn't seem too crowded. Some places scan the barcode on your electronic ticket at the entrance turnstile, and you're in. Here, it's a bit simpler. The security guard glanced at my phone's e-ticket and let me through. A unique thing in China is that entering government-related office buildings typically involves a security check on your belongings. Get my backpack back. Let's start this trip. Now, I'm on the first floor of the museum. The exit is on the left-hand side, and upstairs on the right-hand side is the exhibition hall. It seems that this museum is relatively small, as larger museums usually have several exhibition halls on the first floor as well. Look, there is a service center set up on our right hand. If you need any assistance, you can inquire with the staff. There seems to be some signboards over there. Let me go over to take a look. As you can see, the Silk Road Culture Exhibition is on the second floor, and the Dinosaur Exhibition is on the third. It seems that there are quite a lot of people here today. We have no choice but to follow the crowd. The majority of people visiting the museum today seem to be young adults. Of course, there are also older women, presumably accompanying their grandchildren to the museum. Following the crowd, the first exhibition hall I arrived at was the Paleontology Hall. Seeing this dark room and the large, glowing earth, I felt a sense of disappointment wash over me. This is clearly a miniature version of a natural science museum. It mainly introduces several aspects, including the development and extinction of dinosaurs, local minerals, and traces of ancient humans. Look, it's exactly as I predicted. On the right are some stones, and on the left are paintings of dinosaurs. This is so boring. Almost every city in China has something similar. The last time I went to a natural science museum was when I was a primary school student. This exhibition mainly targets kids. I can understand the purpose of setting up these exhibitions for scientific education for children. Parents who spend a longer time in this exhibition are usually those who are accompanying their children. As an adult, it's not my cup of tea. My aim is to get a sense of this city. So, forgive me for not guiding you guys through this exhibition in detail. The exhibitions here seem to be arranged in a straight path, so you can only proceed to the next hall after finishing the current one. This setup is not common in China. In most museums in China, you usually have the option to choose which exhibition hall you want to visit. It seems we have arrived at the Dinosaur Exhibition Hall. The first dinosaur fossil we see at the entrance is the Lanzhousaurus. The Lanzhousaurus is a herbivorous dinosaur with the largest teeth in the world, representing a newly discovered genus and species of dinosaur. The fossils hanging on the wall are ammonites, which lived from the early Jurassic to the late Cretaceous and were widely distributed around the world. These are fossils of various marine organisms, such as trilobites, fish, jellyfish, and sponges. Let us pause here for a moment and observe carefully. There are many children in this exhibition hall. When I was young, I also loved dinosaurs very much. At the end of this exhibition hall, there stands a Stegosaurus. This Stegosaurus is not as big as I imagined. I wonder if anyone can identify its specific species. To be honest, I feel so confused about the arrangement of these exhibits. They are neither arranged in chronological order nor by species. Finally, I have finished walking through this exhibition hall. As I step out, it suddenly dawns on me that I made a mistake earlier. In fact, the Paleontological Exhibition and the Dinosaur Exhibition are connected to each other, or rather, they are two sections within the same exhibition hall. To be honest, although I'm not particularly interested in this exhibition, I still want to share some of my opinions. My impression of this exhibition is that it seems to have randomly piled up enough exhibits, or perhaps its storyline is not strong enough to fully engage and inform the visitors. It's possible that the exhibition was carefully arranged, but I'm unable to comprehend the designer's intentions. Regarding this, I propose that the museum management consider adding brief textual explanations in the exhibition hall, serving as a sort of outline to guide visitors' thoughts and understanding. Detailed descriptions for each exhibit can be attached as QR codes. Visitors can scan and learn more about them. Soon, we arrive at the second exhibition hall. I hope it won't disappoint me. Lanzhou, being a crucial spot on the Silk Road, showcases stone carvings depicting scenes from that time. Up front, you've got some Chinese soldiers was driving chariots, followed by bearded Central Asian folks, and of course, the essential Silk Road transport, camels. After that, it's probably the horse-drawn carts carrying goods. Upon entering the exhibition hall, we can see a map of the Silk Road. This map illustrates the various routes that connected China with Western countries along the Silk Road. China exported silk, tea, porcelain, and other goods while importing jewels, medicinal herbs, spices, and more. The Silk Road promoted the exchange and development of technology, religion, art, and other fields between the East and the West. Let's take a look at this specific exhibits. The Silk Road route displayed on the screen, passing through Lanzhou, is an important corridor traversing western China. Originating from the ancient Xi'an, it traverses Gansu province westward, passing through Lanzhou, and continues further west to extend into Central Asia, West Asia, and ultimately connects with countries along the Mediterranean coast. This exhibition hall has obviously been carefully arranged, with a vast array of exhibits. As I just walked in, I was momentarily overwhelmed and unsure where to begin admiring. These artifacts vividly recreate the scenes of life back then. I presume these artifacts were unearthed from the tombs of various nobles. Due to the overwhelming number of exhibits, it's not possible for me to showcase and introduce each and every one of them to everyone. I won't show you the video of me slowly and carefully viewing the exhibits on my own. I will do my best to select representative exhibits and introduce them to you all. Entering the central exhibition hall, the exhibits here are the most exquisite. The bricks in front of us are from tombs. In ancient times, the Chinese would specially fire such bricks to build tombs, with colorful patterns depicting scenes of life at that time. If you were a farmer, your children might choose bricks with patterns related to farming for you, and if you were a soldier, bricks with patterns of horseback riding and archery would be more suitable. This clay cow likely belonged to a farmer, while these two terracotta figurines of dancing girls undoubtedly came from a noble. Let's move on. There's a crowd gathered around an exhibit. I can't get close to it for the moment. Let's turn right and see something else first. These must be replicas of the terracotta warriors and horses. As we all know, Xi'an is the starting point of the Silk Road, and the most representative attraction in Xi'an is undoubtedly the terracotta warriors and horses. Let's take a look at them from the side as well. Wait for me to visit Xi'an, I'll definitely show you the real terracotta warriors and horses. Let's continue walking. Here are some bamboo slips, which contain ancient writing inscribed on bamboo. The museum has thoughtfully provided modern Chinese translations for us to understand. How should I explain these bamboo slips to everyone? For merchants traveling on the Silk Road, these bamboo slips likely served a similar function to modern passports or visas. They would need to present these bamboo slips to prove their identity and the purpose of their transactions. These bamboo slips not only reflect the ancient society's method of record-keeping, but also reveal the complexity and diversity of trade activities on the Silk Road. After a full circle, we have finally returned to our starting point. The bronze horse sculpture in front of us is the one I would like to highlight and introduce to you. It's also known as the horse striding on a flying swallow. Almost every Chinese person knows about it. Take a close look, everyone. This horse is leaping into the air with all four legs raised. Its hind leg is perfectly poised on top of a swallow. The ancient artisans expressed the rapid speed of the galloping horse by depicting it in a state of relative stillness with a swallow, creating a dynamic yet harmonious composition. Furthermore, this horse is not native to China, but originates from the western regions. It not only demonstrates the artistic skill of China 1,800 years ago, but also serves as an important witness to the commercial exchanges between China and the West. The Silk Road, as a trade route that connected China and the West, also brought Buddhism into China. This profound impact on Chinese culture has been widely recognized and studied by scholars. And now, we have arrived at the exhibition hall dedicated to Buddhist art. The statue is a replica of a scene where Buddhist images were painted on walls. Starting from the Han Dynasty, Buddhism was introduced into China along the Silk Road. Here we have various Buddhist artifacts on display. Please forgive me if my explanation is not entirely accurate, as I am not very familiar with Buddhism. If there are any mistakes, please feel free to correct me. Here, the sculptures seem to depict ancient scenes where noblemen would pay craftsmen to carve out niches in the mountains and insert Buddha statues. As donors, the names of these nobles would be inscribed near the feet of the Buddha statues. We can imagine how difficult it must have been for the craftsmen to work on the steep cliffs 1,800 years ago. Over time, as each nobleman had their Buddha statues carved into the mountains, we would have seen a truly magnificent sight of Buddha images filling the hills when looking up from below. The exhibits here are from different periods, and indeed, the Buddha statues from each period have their unique characteristics. This bodhisattva is wearing a long skirt. This Buddha statue exhibits a wet clothing style, as if Buddha has just stood up from a river, with the wet clothes clinging tightly to their muscles, creating a kind of mysterious and implicit beauty. This is a Buddha statue with backlighting. The lead-based pigment has oxidized over time, causing the face to turn dark. Large and small Buddha statues are displayed everywhere, seemingly presenting to the visitors the era when Buddhism flourished. Please forgive me for realizing now that exhibits here are accompanied by QR codes. Scanning the QR codes will indeed provide detailed information about these exhibits. While not all the exhibits have QR codes, the availability of this feature definitely adds interest and convenience to the visit. The website is in Chinese and there is a Chinese audio guide service available. It's indeed quite convenient. If an English service could also be provided, it would be even more friendly for foreign visitors. There are also various types of Buddha statues here. Due to their numerous quantity, I won't be able to introduce each one individually. Although there are many Buddhist exhibits, due to the limitation of video duration, this exhibition hall is introduced here. If you are interested, I will edit it again for you. Almost every museum in China has a red exhibition hall, which mainly introduces the development history of the Communist Party in this city. To avoid excessive gore or politically sensitive content, I won't go into too much detail. I'm not sure if everyone still remembers, but when we first entered the museum, there was a sign indicating the exit on the left side of the video. That's right. After passing the exit, we have arrived at the Cultural and Creative Merchandise store, which is the highlight I wanted to introduce to everyone. A wide range of cultural and creative products are sold here. The most important cultural symbols of Gansu include camels, bronze horses, wind and sand, and the Yellow River. When these elements are combined with the products, they form unique items such as clothing, scarves, fans, and other merchandise. Do you still remember the bronze horse we saw earlier? The Gansu Museum has created a cultural and creative toy inspired by it. This horse is both ugly and cute. Once this product was launched, it was sold out immediately. This fact also demonstrates the tremendous commercial value of cultural and creative products. Let's take a look at some of the interesting products here. Here are some beautiful fans, postcards, and notebooks that caught my eye. The patterns on these are all filled with the senses of local culture. I forgot whether these round jars are for aromatherapy or cosmetics. If anyone knows, please let me know. These are some earrings with ancient features. There are also various necklaces and bracelets. The bookmarks hanging on the wall, each with a unique pattern, look truly captivating. If I weren't afraid of losing them during my half year of wandering, I would definitely buy some. Here are various beautiful postcards. When I was a university student, I often sent postcards to my friends while traveling, sharing my mood at that moment. If you also like them, perhaps I can send them to you, strangers, as well. This is a general overview of the cultural and creative shop. Our journey through the museum comes to an end here. Stepping out of the museum's doors, reflecting on the journey we've just taken, I feel it's time to draw some conclusions. Although the Gansu Museum of Natural History boasts numerous excellent exhibits, some of its exhibition halls, such as the Paleontological Hall and the Dinosaur Hall, are overly outdated. It is feared that they may have not undergone any significant updates for decades. What's more, the Gansu Museum has devoted the utmost effort to its Silk Road and Buddhist culture exhibition halls, as these two aspects have undeniably had a profound impact on the cities of this region throughout history. The exhibits in these halls are also unique and unparalleled in other museums in China. I believe that reducing the number of exhibits and regularly updating them through a rotating exhibition format could be a viable option. This approach would not only attract visitors to revisit the museum repeatedly but also ensure that they have the opportunity to view new exhibits each time. As for the vacated spaces, I propose incorporating additional content, such as the development history of the city, contrasting the past and present of Gansu. After visiting the museum, frankly speaking, I still haven't achieved my intended goal. I still lack a thorough understanding of this place. After wandering around for so long, I'm feeling a bit tired. I'll head back to the hotel first and then look for something to eat. Just near the hotel where I'm staying, there's a famous restaurant. People here mainly eat noodles as their staple food. So, I ordered a bowl of yangzha pao more. Yangzha mean various internal organs of sheep. Pao is soaking. More is a kind of bread. It looked like thick crust. You need to tear this piece of bread into small pieces yourself. Then soak them into lamb soup. After waiting for a few minutes, it was ready to eat. This is a traditional cuisine of Chinese Muslims. Due to Gansu's proximity to Central Asia, you can see a significant number of descendants of Islamic faith in this city. They wear prayer caps and operate noodle shops. The restaurant where I am currently located seems to reflect this situation quite accurately. Following the advice of the Dharma, I tore the bread into small pieces and then dipped them into the broth. This is my first time eating lamb offal. In the city where I live, we rarely eat lamb meat, and lamb offal is something I have never seen before. After quickly tearing the bread into pieces, my bowl of yangzha pao more is almost ready. Let me show you. There are plenty of chopped scallions and cilantro in the bowl, which can dispel the mutton's strong odor. Dharma also provided me with pickled garlic, which is also used to dispel the mutton's strong odor. It is said that the authentic way to eat it is to take a bite of garlic and then sip the broth. Alright, let me try this way of eating. Surprisingly, despite it being my first time trying lamb offal, it doesn't have any strange flavors. It just tastes like meat with a different texture. I've heard that some people can't eat this, but it seems like my adaptability is pretty good. To avoid making everyone hungry, I won't ask you to accompany me in finishing this bowl of yang zha pao more. Here's a preview for you. In the next video, I will continue exploring this city and provide you with some tips for traveling in China. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below the video, and I'll do my best to reply to everyone. If you enjoy my channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you.